welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Moneyline Madness episode. I am here with the boys, Andy B and CMO Sports. Boys, Thursday Night Football on Prime. How we feeling? I can't pretend I'm that excited about this game, but go ahead, you guys.
No, yeah, this game is no, this game's terrible. No, I agree with you completely. Every Thursday night game's kind of felt this way. Not a great game, but I think there still is some interesting aspects to it. But in terms of the game, it means nothing in it.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, Mike.
Mike, what up, baby?
What Baker about to do? And let's go, Trey Turner. What a comment. That's fantastic. That is fantastic. But what is Baker about to do? I mean, I really don't know. Like, nobody knows, truthfully. I mean, you have a guy coming in. He studied the playbook for what, 2.5 days? How much can you really rely on this guy to lead an offense? I mean, I understand why the spread stands where it stands. I think ultimately the Rams can keep this a competitive game by running and using Cam Akers the way he was probably supposed to be used this whole time. But other than that, I really just don't see much going on for the Rams today. What about you guys?
I agree. I looked through all the coaching, everything, all the coaching staff to see if he had any connection to this team in terms of Baker. If he had any connection to the playbook, the play style, and there's no connection. So if he's the quarterback...
Is Baker the official starter?
It seems like Wolford's got an injured neck, so they're not going to play him. So it seems like he's their next best option. Perkins is not really a good option. They said that
Perkins was awful.
He was
Perkins
awful.
Was horrific the other day.
So
I can't trust him.
So he has no connection to this play style, no connection to this type of offense. So yeah, it's going to have to be a Cam Akers heavy day if they're even going to have a prayer tonight.
Oof. Yeah, all right, from a betting standpoint, Simo, you like anything in this game?
Yeah, actually, I like a couple of unders. One of the unders that I like is Josh Jacobs under 3.5 receptions. Like I said before, this is our Bet US play, actually, for tonight. Make sure y'all hit that link in our bio for
free $50.
$50.
Oh yeah,
$50, man.
You can't beat it.
But Josh Jacobs under 3.5 receptions. He's only hit this line 5 out of the 12 games he's played. And I think they're going to be beating the Rams. So I think he's going to be running the ball more than catching the ball. And I also have Tyler Higbee under 3.5 receptions as well. I mean, even though new quarterbacks look for the tight end, I just don't see a timeline where Higbee gets 4 catches by Baker, whether it's Baker Mayfield or whoever the hell they're going to have starting under that center. I don't know what's going on, but I don't think Higbee's going to have a night because of it.
Yeah, I could definitely see Josh Jacobs at least. I mean, he's been banged up all week. The reports, he's barely been practicing. So Josh Jacobs, we're not even sure how much his workload really could be. So let alone his receiving prop, right? So I would definitely go under on there. Double R says, take Adams anytime score. That was definitely one of my picks I was coming on with tonight. Is a Devontae Adams anytime touchdown for -115, I believe it was, last I checked. I mean, this just feels like a given. I don't know if you guys remember, but this kind of matchup with Jalen Ramsey goes back even, obviously Andy remembers in his Green Bay days. It's personal, right?
It is personal.
It's personal with those two, and Devontae honestly tears him up. So especially around the goal line, I think he's going to be able to find something, even if it's something short. We saw him, I don't know if you guys remember that specific play on the goal line where Aaron Rodgers straight tossed it to him. He had Jalen Ramsey bouncing up and down, pissed off at the defense. So I'm riding with the Devontae Adams anytime touchdown tonight for -115.
I like that. Anything with Devontae's the main target. He's the only target pretty much at this point. They don't throw to anybody else. Mac Hollins gets a couple. Mac Hollins is in my lineup in fantasy because he's gotten like 2 or 3 catches. Like that's the most that's targeted around him. So in terms of Adams, anything he does is anytime touchdown is easy with him.
I main coming in saying the new QB might look to target the tight ends, the flats even more. Simo, thoughts on that? Contradicting your point.
I mean, that's what I said that in my point. I said I know new QBs look for tight ends, but still, it's not going to happen.
I mean, honestly, Tyler Higbee just isn't that good, and Baker Mayfield isn't
targeted in the first place.
Baker Mayfield is not that good. I really don't know. Like, I mean, this just feels like I tweeted it out. We're putting lipstick on a pig here. We're beating a dead horse with Baker. I don't know, Andy.
It is literally the third chance in 2 years we're giving Baker Mayfield. We gave him one more last year going into that year in Cleveland. Terrible. Gave him Carolina. He was terrible. Why are we giving him LA? Why are we acting like he's going to come in and be anything different for this team? Like on a short week where he got cut, what was it, Monday he got cut?
Yeah.
Picked up Wednesday, and you expect him to come in Thursday? I don't see it, and I don't see this being the chance. He's not the starter in LA, even if he plays well. So
yeah. No, I agree. So
we're
saying if he plays well, I feel like there's a slim chance of that. Now, Andy, Simo, Double R, you guys will know. This is a question for everybody listening in. If Baker Mayfield has a bad game, does he get his name renounced from Moneyline Madness? I feel like
100%.
We have stopped saying other quarterbacks' names for less offensive, gameplay. So I feel like Baker, Double R's got it right here.
He's right.
Double Platform R says with his 2 comments, Baker may play himself out the league, and that's a fact. He's playing for the XFL.
I agree.
He's right. He's 100% right.
I thought personally Baker Mayfield would have been a perfect fit on the Shanghai Sharks, but the Shanghai Sharks.
Him and Dwight Howard could be a fantastic overseas duo.
In the Taiwan League or something, it would have been fun. But football, that guy can't play quarterback.
No.
Maybe he can play some basketball or something. I don't know. But, nah, this guy ain't good. He's been out of the conversation as a good quarterback since probably when Odell was on the team. And
was there ever necessarily a discussion of, wow, Baker Mayfield –
there was a lot of defenders.
There was a time. You'd be
surprised.
Now, is it speculations on his potential, or was that actually him at the time being good?
No, it's because
I feel like I was never looking at him on the field and being like, wow, this guy's dominating.
I know.
He stunk, but they won because they had such a good team around him.
Yeah, I know where this leads to the point he got there. They had just come off that 1-15 year after the 0-16 year, right?
And he
came in and he took them. No, they just missed the playoffs, but all he had to do was win a game. He won them one game, and he was their guy. And that's exactly what happens when you have such low expectations. They were so bad that him winning them a few games felt like they won the Super Bowl. And then we all overrated him. People overrated him to the point they compared him to Lamar Jackson, who now that just looks laughable. And now you look at it, Baker's in the same field as Carson Wentz. They're looking to be backups next year if they don't play well now. Carson probably took himself off, but he's trying to play into a backup role at this point. So
I got a thought for you guys as well. Would you rather, if you could pick a quarterback to play in this game tonight, between Baker Mayfield in his current state or just putting a uniform on Andrew Luck one more time? Who are you taking?
What kind of question is that? If I could get Andrew, I would take Andrew Luck on the Giants right now.
Andrew Luck would be good. Andrew Luck probably hasn't stayed in football shape, but
no, that's my thought.
Yeah, you're right about that. But if you got him in football shape,
he's smart.
He's smart. He is smart.
He's definitely smarter than Baker
Mayfield. IQ is big enough to where
Johnny Manziel 2.0 over here.
No, most definitely.
Andrew Luck could come back, have one off season of training, and be dominant again.
Top 5 quarterback again.
I don't think
we'll ever. I'm throwing
we'll never know
out there.
I'm throwing Rusty Luck.
I'm throwing Rusty Luck out there.
Sucked for Luck back in the day.
Yeah.
Nobody sucked for Baker.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, I think Baker Mayfield has always been a reach. Like I always.
That was always.
You can think about fun of Daniel Jones for being a reach, but this was a number 1 overall draft pick.
You're right.
Worse.
The top 3 picks in that draft.
And Josh Allen too.
Josh Allen was middle of that draft, and
he was considered
the best quarterback. He was like the 8th or 9th.
No, he was like the 13th pick.
13th.
Josh Allen?
Yeah.
He was early. He was mid-early. You know what I mean? Like mid-top 15.
Josh Allen was the 4th. I thought he was like the 4th pick.
No,
I think he was the 4th quarterback.
He was. It
went. A quick check right here.
It went Baker, Darnold, Rosen, Allen, I believe.
Really?
I believe he was before Allen.
Rosen, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Now that I'm
Josh Allen
thinking
was
about
the
it.
7th overall pick in that draft.
Oh yeah, he was the 3rd quarterback taken, and he was actually 3 of 5 first-round quarterbacks.
Rosen was taken.
He was one of them.
It was Josh Allen.
You got Arizona went to got Rosen.
Yeah.
Mike McGlinchey, who I don't know if Buddy is still in the league anymore.
He is. No,
and then I don't think he's. Is he?
Yeah, he's a good lineman.
Sure.
Josh
he's good lineman.
After at number 10.
And Lamar was number 32. What a hit that was.
I mean, yeah. But then again, like that's the same. The Lamar scenario seems like the same as like DK Metcalf when he came into the league. Like, why did that guy fall on draft?
You know why he fell? Because nobody thought he could play quarterback. They thought he could only play receiver. And that's been, I mean, you could talk about that for a million hours for why that's the reason. But for some reason, that style of quarterback out of college never gets the respect. Got taken 32nd by a team who traded up to take him. Traded and got 2 picks in the first round, took him 32nd. I said it I know we hadn't obviously done this back then. If we had done this, you would have had a clip of me saying, I thought he was going to be by far the best of those guys. He won the Heisman, for God's sakes. Like,
yeah
there's got to be respect on those guys.
You know how that goes. I just really hope that the Ravens are dumb enough to.
Rosen did say that.
Let him go. I hope Lamar demands the Ravens, like, hey, let me get out of here, please.
Rosen, oh my God, Josh Rosen was.
I remember this now.
I remember when he signed with somebody and he was like, "We're gonna win. We're gonna win so many championships. Like, we're gonna get so many rings."
Rough time.
Yeah.
He was wrong. He couldn't be more wrong.
Yeah.
He did say there were 9 mistakes made ahead of him.
Like,
there were a lot of mistakes made ahead of him, but he was also one.
Something that's like so strange about Josh Rosen is like there was never really anything in his career that like derailed it, or anything like that.
He just never
like,
got
just flat out not good at the sport. Mm-hmm. Like so bad that like you are jobless at this point.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's tough. But all right, I think we've had enough of this rookie quarterback, young quarterback talk because like Baker Mayfield's just all up in my head. Let's talk about these games coming up this weekend. So first off, we got the Eagles coming to MetLife to face off against the Giants. Now, guys, Giants are looking to stay competitive. We know NFC East matchups are always extremely close. What do we feel the key is going to be for both the Eagles and Giants if they want to see success in this game?
Well, I think the Giants need to control the pace of the game. That is, I think, the number one key for the Giants to win. If we play the game by our terms in our home stadium, it's going to be very competitive, especially since it's an NFC East rivalry matchup. Period. We're primetime home dogs.
Yep.
You know how I feel about them. All right.
Yep. Andy?
I think it comes down to Saquon Barkley. I think every Giant game from here on out is going to come down to Saquon Barkley.
Now
he
the
needs
health
to have
is concerning. I don't know if you guys saw that report today.
Yeah, he's questionable now. It comes down to him because you can say what you want about Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones not winning you football games with those receivers. Those receivers are, they're terrible. If Saquon is on, that's a really good offense just because of Saquon. But right now, if he's unhealthy, this could get ugly quick because the Giants won't be able to move the ball. The Eagles defense they get a lot of love, but they deserve a lot of love. They're a really good defense for how, they struggled against Green Bay, but a lot of teams have struggled against Green Bay right now. Other than that, this Eagles defense is really good. So
they force turnovers.
They do.
That's how they get their job done for sure.
Yeah. Comes down to Saquon.
Yeah. No, and so
I think so.
If the Eagles want to win, what do they have to do?
Just be the Eagles. Jalen Hurts.
Play your game. Is this just another week for the Eagles? Do they not even?
I don't mean to sound disrespectful with that. It should be. Just play your game. Go out there, play the way you play, and they're 11-1 for a reason. Their way works. Jalen Hurts is really good. Right? There's no other way around that. So
what's the injury report for the Giants this week? Besides Saquon, obviously.
Yeah.
But Saquon's gonna play. They're
gonna shoot him up with all types of stuff.
He's gonna play. He's fine.
No way
he's not.
We got Richie James,
limited at practice.
Leonard Williams, Richie James, Saquon Barkley, Nick McLeod, and obviously McKinney. All questionable except McKinney. He's out, obviously. So.
Okay, I think Leonard Williams will also play. He's been practicing, so.
Lenny will play.
I think anybody who
care less if McLeod don't play because he fucking stunk last week. You
don't want Richie James returning punts? Come on.
I'm not fucking with Richie James either. So I mean,
nobody should be.
I'll get Spencer James back. Grabbing before I grab Richie James.
Love Spencer James.
All right, so let's move on here. Jets going up against the Bills in Buffalo. Now I know the Jets upset last time, but I just can't imagine this happening twice. What do you guys think about that?
This fucking line is insane. Have
What's
you
the
seen the line? 10. I don't care where they are. I don't care where they are. The Jets are not a bad team. They just almost beat Minnesota in Minnesota. I mean, they're not that bad. They're not going to win the game because they're on the road, but
it's Mike White.
They're not losing that bad.
Mike White threw for damn near 400 yards last.
The Bills lost to Zach Wilson, and you're telling me Mike White, who's better than Zach Wilson's, not going to give him a fight?
What's the money line on this game?
Probably a lot.
Insanity. I thought that was insanity when I saw
the Jets. I'm going to guess are plus 230 at least. Right now, so Imaine says Mike White off
plus 400
coming this week.
Plus 400?
Yeah, plus 400.
That's not bad. For a
sprinkle. It's on Pick Center. That's what I found it on. So
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I think this could. I mean, the Bills at home.
I don't think the Bills are gonna lose. I just don't think it's gonna be that ugly. The Jets are good. Like, we have to understand. The Jets are good at this point. Like, they're not just some surprise. I mean, they are surprising, but they're a good team. Yeah. They have a lot of good players.
Bills are banged up on defense.
Yeah. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Garrett Wilson is a dog.
No Von Miller, obviously.
So the Jets, the key for the Jets is literally just all Mike White, right? Like, how far can Mike White get you this weekend?
Yeah.
Because if him and Garrett Wilson are tearing up that injured Buffalo secondary, it could be a long game for Josh Allen's team. So I don't know. Jets rarely get blown out. That's very true. They're good at covering the spread. Definitely when the odds are stacked against you like this too. I like it.
I also think the Diggs-Gardner matchup. I do think Sauce Gardner will struggle this week. I think he has had his moments against great receivers where he hasn't been Sauce Gardner, the guy that they've hyped up.
Now listen, he's a rookie.
He's a rookie, and that's natural. That's going to happen. And I think this is a week that he's probably going to give up a touchdown or two. He's going to get exploited a little bit just because Stephon Diggs does it to everybody. So I think that's something to look out for in that game.
Yeah, I can't lie to you. I was already thinking Josh Allen over 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Oh, hell yeah.
That was already getting locked up.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. All right. So Vikes going up against the Lions. This one, a little strange. Andy, you were talking about this before. What's suspect to you?
The Lions at home, so that's probably the main reason they're going to give you, are favored against a 10-2 Vikings team that can clinch the division this week. I don't get it. Some of these lines have been very wacky. The past couple weeks have been some weird lines. But this one gets me because the Lions are 5-7, have lost some heartbreakers, but really haven't showed to be anywhere near the level that the Vikings are on.
But
I don't get why they're
hot
favored
right now, and they've been putting up points, right? So you look.
Well, they've been putting up points all year.
I mean, but you look at these last games that they're winning, and they put up 40 in a W over Jacksonville. The week before that, who'd they play?
Here's how they've done.
They put up 25 on the Bills defense.
Beat the Giants.
2 weeks.
Giants, yeah.
Yeah, the 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, 31-31. You're right. Then they got 25 on Thanksgiving against the Bills. Obviously a loss, but then they got 40 on Jacksonville. You're not wrong. They're scoring a lot.
They beat the shit out of Jacksonville.
Yeah, they're scoring a really good amount. But at the same time, the Vikings, I know they barely scraped by the Jets, but we just got done talking. Jets are a good team. The Lions are beating bad teams, to be respectful. The Bears are a bad team. We saw that last week. They're not good.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Jaguars. They're not good. So
now the thing is, who on that secondary is guarding or defending Amon-Ra? That's the problem.
Who on their secondary is guarding Justin Jefferson?
Yes. I mean, I'm not saying that
nobody on anybody's secondary
they should be favored, but it's definitely a little closer than what I think. Some could.
I don't think it'll be a blowout, but
I
also
think it's going to be a blowout.
I usually don't think games are going to be a blowout, but I also don't think the Lions should be favored in the game. That's very odd to me.
Yeah,
there's a reason for it, and the reason is because they know.
They know.
That's why they know something that we don't, and that means stay the fuck away from that game. Now, the real question is, what is the over-under? Because the over looks...
Oh, that's got to be...
51.5.
Yeah.
51?
Yeah.
That's it?
Drill that.
51.5.
I'm crushing the over.
Halftime.
I'm crushing the over.
They might have that at
51.5? I thought it was going to be like 50, high 50s.
I thought it would be near 60. That's a big... college is big on hitting the 60s with their over-unders, but yeah, that's...
No, it's definitely...
That's a drill the over type game, yeah.
All right. So next game we got going up, Bucks 49ers. This one's in San Fran. Obviously, no handsome Jimmy. Andy, I know you're crushed about that.
That's sad. It's definitely sad.
You were anticipating a revenge game. I know. I mean, not necessarily against the Bucks, but against Tommy B. You know, yeah. I'm sure Jimmy would have liked to have that one. What are your thoughts? What do the 49ers need to do to still win this game?
Well, you're right. Anytime we're deprived of seeing Jimmy Garoppolo play football or just be on our TV screens, we're very disappointed. But I don't think this game will be as ugly as you would think on paper, right? Brock Purdy against Tom Brady. That's a joke, right? Brock Purdy. Who the hell is Brock Purdy? I didn't even know his college. I completely forgot it. He went to Iowa State. Mr. Irrelevant against Tom Brady. On paper, shouldn't be close. I think Kyle Shanahan, regardless of the quarterback, can make a game close. Now, he's going to need his players to actually win the game for him, which is what I don't think is going to happen. I think the Bucs are going to win the game late like they did last week and barely scrape by. That's just how they're going to win. But I think Brock Purdy, because of Kyle Shanahan, will be able to keep them close in probably every game they play. So I think this will be a close game in San Francisco, but I still think Tampa Bay wins.
Let me put it like this. Brock Purdy beat the shit out the Dolphins.
That's true.
He did.
But they weren't. I'll say this. Backup quarterbacks or guys you've never seen before, they're so hard to beat. You've never seen them before. So Brock Purdy never being seen before. Now they've seen him. The Bucs can game plan for him a little bit. They can do anything they want. Watch his college tape, sure. Nobody was prepared for Brock Purdy on the Dolphins the other day. Probably had never heard of him before.
But here's the thing: Brock Purdy doesn't need to do much for them to win.
No, they have so many pieces.
You're not wrong.
I mean,
you're not wrong with that.
Yeah.
What does Garoppolo really do that makes the 49ers win?
He probably sells tickets without Purdy.
He just doesn't turn the ball over.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's all Brock Purdy has to do.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Kyle Shanahan, with any quarterback, can get you close. Your quarterback just has to win you the game. I don't think Purdy
when you have Deebo Samuels, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah.
Plus more.
A lot of pieces. Elijah Mitchell as well.
Sometimes Elijah Mitchell, you don't even need to be a good quarterback to win.
To think, they have all those weapons, and they let go
with
Jeff
that
Wilson.
defense.
They had so many weapons coming into this season.
Yeah, they did.
Insanity.
But I don't know. I get it. I mean, that backfield's full now, it is what it is. All right. These next couple that we're going to talk about kind of stink, right? So Texans, Cowboys, this spread, I want to just talk about the fact that this spread is where it's at. Cowboys are favored by 17.5. Now, is that because we just witnessed an absolute murder last week of Jeff Saturday getting packed out?
Yeah, that's the only reason why. They think they're going to do it again. I will never touch a 17.5 point NFL spread. That's too high, but that's why they're looking at it from hey, the Colts are probably better than the Texans, and they just bludgeoned the Colts. So that's probably the way they're looking at it, but I'd stay away from it.
I'm staying away from it. I'd take plus 17.5 on the Texans.
Well, the thing is it's so crazy because if I had to pick, I'm taking the plus 17.5, but I very easily could see it being 30-0 at halftime, it was against the Dolphins. I could see it.
Colts are so weird, man. You never know with the Colts.
No, I know that was a weird score to come out with. 30-0. Yeah, no, the Texans. Yeah, the Texans are the team. The Cowboys,
Mills Mafia back.
Don't even.
No.
I'm
sorry.
Not Davis.
All right. Ravens Steelers this week. Divisional matchup, except it's Kenny Pickett and Tyler Huntley.
Starting quarterback of my fantasy team, Tyler Huntley.
Is he really?
All right. So I have Trevor Lawrence is probably not going to play. It sounds like he's questionable.
Ooh.
And Justin Fields is on a bye.
Hurt right now.
Yeah. And Justin Fields is on a bye. So.
What other free agents did you have a choice of?
He was the number one. Tyler Huntley was the number one.
Who was two?
Let me look. I'm gonna go through
Brock
it. But
Purdy,
literally,
I'll do Brock Purdy over Huntley.
I thought Purdy, but I also thought they were gonna pick up Baker.
Purdy.
I thought they were gonna pick up Baker and just play him. So I was wrong, but
better go take Purdy.
Steelers with the upset, if you could call it that. I mean,
I don't even think
I believe so.
The real upset here is just everybody that's watching the game is going to be upset.
Yeah, I'm not watching that damn game.
Yeah, that's going to be a stinker.
But the Steelers will win.
They might.
I think it'll be very close.
I think if they could get Najee back, but even then, like, oh man, like who in this game is appealing at all?
There isn't. No, there's no stars.
Like, is the most appealing person in this game TJ Watt?
Well, if you're a defense,
that's it.
I also don't think Huntley's that bad to watch. He's actually very entertaining to watch.
I mean, yeah, because
he plays exactly like Lamar.
Yeah,
he plays exactly like him.
It's just he's riskier, right?
Yeah, he can throw though.
He could
spin it a little bit.
He could try. I mean, hopes Pittsburgh wins.
Of course you do.
Of course he does. He wants to win the division.
Yeah. All right. Next one. We may as well talk about him now. The Bengals hosting Deshaun Watson and the Browns. Now, boys, this is going to be a good game, in my opinion. I think this could be a very high-scoring game. I feel like this could be the week that Deshaun Watson starts rolling a little bit more, gets a little more chemistry going with these guys now that he's had 2 full practice weeks back at it. I really think that this is going to be, one of the best games of the week looking at this slate. So what are your thoughts?
I agree. I think it's going to be a great game. I think Deshaun Watson is going to pick it up a little bit more. I don't think he's going to be fully back this game because it's only his second game, but I do think he's going to improve big time over last game.
He has to because he looked terrible the other day. People are not talking about enough. He looked horrible. Granted, you're right. He was rusty as hell, and I assumed he would be. But, I mean, just a little bit of an upgrade is not going to help. They're not going to win if he's just a little bit better. He needs to be like halfway to where Deshaun Watson needs to be because he was brutal. Yeah. And Cincinnati's coming off a massive win.
They're getting hot. They're getting hot at the right time, Cincinnati. So
I actually think they will win that division because of the Lamar injury. So I think that Cincinnati team.
I think so too. I think Cincinnati wins the division as well, especially coming off of that Kansas City win.
I did not see that one coming. That's huge.
Joe Burrow, I guess, has Mahomes' card. That might be Mahomes' arch nemesis now because
that was really on Travis
to really give him some real problems.
Travis Kelce didn't do shit, right?
He kind of blew it. He went for that. He kind of tried to be the hero, and he ended up fumbling. So Travis Kelce never fumbles. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying it's all on this guy and he sucks, but sometimes you just got to go down, bro. Like, just go down. Trying to fight 4 defenders for an extra yard, bro. It's enough is enough. Mm-hmm. Enough is enough. But yeah, I think it's going to be a really good game. I'd probably take the Bengals in this one. Now that they're getting everybody healthy, back on track.
Jamar Chase.
The season, if they win that division and then they still have everybody healthy rolling into the playoffs, they are not going to be a team that anybody wants to face. I think they're going to be all thinking about last year in the back of their heads. And that's going to keep them fired up. So I would not want to play the Bengals.
That's a scary team. I agree with you. They have that Super Bowl loss etched in their head for the rest of the season. So
and that run, you know what it's like to win games.
Yeah.
Don't let Deshaun get back to Deshaun level.
No, we need to see it. We need to see it.
I gotta see it.
What we're seeing is.
I also think, and I don't think anybody's really mentioned this, him being back in Houston for his first game definitely made an impact. They were I mean, I saw some of the signs. They were not shy about how they felt about him and what he did. So.
They were not kind to Deshaun.
Nor should they be.
Yeah.
We'll see how Cincinnati handles them.
Yeah.
We're on to Cincinnati.
We shall see. But, all right. Dolphins, Chargers this weekend. This one is in LA. Now, the Dolphins, not necessarily the week that we expected them to have last week. High-octane offense that we're used to with Waddle, Tua, all that type of stuff. Tyreek Hill, obviously. What is the key for them if they want to get back in their groove against the Chargers on the road?
I don't know. I think this Chargers team, the Dolphins themselves coming off that loss are going to be ready to play. Like they got beaten to a pulp. They lost by 18 it was, I think. They only scored 15 against a defense they thought they were going to score a lot more on. And for the Chargers at this point, they're starting to scare me because there's no reason that talented roster, granted they've had injuries and they always do, should be 6-6. Justin Herbert has let a lot of people down, and I agree 100% Ty Main. I don't think he'll be fired this week just because it's so late in the season anyway. But if they don't start winning and they don't make the playoffs, Staley should be gone immediately. He blew them. He blew their season last year. He's kind of messed up their season this year because they're not a very good offense.
Yeah.
So a lot going on in LA that the Chargers that it's gonna be no playoff games in that stadium this year except the national championship game.
That is
what
a
it's
fact.
looking like.
That's a fact. Simo, your Chargers, your Bolts.
Yeah. My boys are down bad right now. I'm not gonna blame it on Justin Herbert, and I feel like this is a huge misconception. Oh, he's overrated. Oh, he doesn't win games. Oh, this, oh, that. But yes, he is the reason they are even in games in the first place. He is the reason why they're even relevant or even being talked about in the first place. I think Justin Herbert is a hell of a quarterback, and I do think with the right coach,
that's what I think.
Can be an amazing. That could be an amazing offense with Eckler, Allen, Mike Williams, and much more. Come on now. You put an Andy Reid or you put a Sean Payton.
Put a Brian Daboll.
Put any of them.
No, you're right, but Brian Daboll's not leaving.
Realistically,
it's going to be Sean Payton.
One of these coaches.
But it's going to be Sean Payton, and Sean Payton is going to use that offense just like he ran that Saints offense. And that is going to be a high-octane offense next year.
Yeah,
that's what scared me about Brandon Staley and Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert's a great quarterback, but he's a little bit less maybe even than he was last year. Last year he was unbelievable, amazing. He hasn't improved very much. We didn't see him have a leap or anything. We just saw him stay where he was. And that's on Brandon Staley. That's why I think he's going to lose his job, because the one thing that can save your team is if your quarterback is showing improvement. He has not had any of his quarterback has not shown improvement. That's why I think exact example, Tua. Mike McDaniel came in, immediately was a better player. I don't know about that.
Justin Herbert is greater to
that ain't true.
I'm not. That's just insane.
We're not stooping to that level yet.
Insanity. I mean, I can't.
In terms of records, they're close because the Chargers are only a game ahead of them. But that's not.
I mean, that's insane. Sean Payton is going to have Justin Herbert back doing short passes. He's not just going to be relying on these bombs and then Austin Eckler to catch a ball. It's literally just he's either launching the ball downfield or he's throwing a bubble screen to Austin Eckler or Jackson, one of these guys in the backfield. It's nasty. Sean Payton is going to have him back, short routes. He's going to be carving up. He's going to be gunslinging back, doing his thing, and that is absolutely not true. Derek Carr is definitely not a really good quarterback. He is average at best, I would say, in my opinion. What do you guys think? I don't. It's
Derek Carr has one of the greatest standalone quarterback seasons of the last 20 years. That one year where he got hurt and would have won the MVP, crazy. He was amazing. Since then, nothing. Just nothing. Wins and losses are a quarterback stat.
Always been their offensive line, right? They've never been able to protect him. The guy just gets hit constantly. He's constantly getting hit, and he gets hit hard because they have no coverage for him. And I think if they ever want to see real improvement, they gotta bolster up that offensive line.
That team made the wrong coaching hire, in my opinion, and they focused on the wrong things this offseason.
That's for sure. That's definitely what the Raiders' problem was. They were so obsessed with Devontae Adams that
that was their offseason. That's what they put their offseason.
The actual team, they just got a playmaker, but they didn't get no linemen. They didn't get anybody that's gonna, thug it out. And they're
the games are won in the trenches, and that's exactly what they're lacking.
I like that. Bring that up. The trenches, that's where it's won.
No, seriously, on the lines. And they just, you got a playmaker who has no time to make plays.
Yeah. And we knew he was going to force the ball to Devontae when he's not open. I knew Devontae was going to get frustrated because, I mean, when star receivers leave star quarterbacks, they don't understand how good they have it. Yeah. When that ball's perfect and it's
grass is not always greener.
Love that, right?
Yep.
Grass is not always greener.
Devontae Adams is definitely feeling it.
So are we.
Yeah, it happens, Andy.
Although it looks like we found our guy. So.
Yeah, I mean, Christian Watson, let's talk about it. Guy's gotten better and better every week. Just when they thought, it was just, rookie flash in the pan type of scenario. Guy is back at it, proving that he is the dominant one out of that rookie receiving group. Andy, what are you seeing that has bought you in on the Christian Watson hype?
All Rodgers has to do is trust you, and you're good. He trusts him now, and that's why he's good. That's why he's ready to go. That's why he's making catches in the red zone, in the end zone, everywhere. He ran for 64-yard touchdown the other day. Like, that's something Green Bay never had. They haven't had a receiver that can also go out there and run, right? So that was important. He's got a different body type from Deebo Samuel, but that's the kind of guy they want him to be, and he's being that. And if Romeo Doubs can come back, I don't know if it'll be this season, but if he comes back and he's healthy and he's even a quarter of what he showed he could be, that receiving core is going to be great. I just don't know who will be throwing the ball to them in the near future.
That is true.
Matt LaFleur had a very questionable comment the other day in his press conference. He said, I would love for Aaron Rodgers to be back. And my first thought was, he's under contract. So if you have to say that, then you're not confident that guy's going to be back.
That's very interesting.
I don't know really why he had to say that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no. Jordy could run, but he would only run straight. Like, Christian Watson can run laterals. Like, he can run jet sweeps. Everything he wants to do, he can do. Jordy Nelson never had to do that.
Christian Watson's a big yak guy. Not only is he a possessive wide receiver, he's tall enough and has the body type to be a wide receiver one. He can also burn you and find his way to the end zone after he catches the ball. So
I don't know if you guys listen to Pro Football Focus. He was rated an F out of college.
Wow.
No,
I don't give them much credit.
I don't give them any. That's why they don't trust. They like look at your school, and if you don't go to a good school, you're done. Right? He went to North Dakota State. They gave him an F.
Yeah.
No.
Fuck
PFF. They suck.
Yeah. Fuck them.
That's a fact.
That's
a fact. All right. Anything else you guys want to add in for today?
I think that's going to be a good week of football we've got. And so the primetime games once again are not good.
Yeah.
They didn't
Thursday
night
on the list, right?
and Monday night games. Not great.
Yeah, we're going to be back talking about it. Probably just grabbing some bets on those games. Yeah. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the episode, don't forget to drop a like, drop a subscription if you're coming through on the tube. Share if you're on other platforms. We appreciate all the support. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been a Thursday Night Moneyline Madness pregame show, and enjoy some football. Peace.
Go Mets.